What's up, you guys? Sergeant Nick Rians here. Welcome to the RanX Report, episode number 4. Before we get rolling here, let me get everything going so then I can see your guys' comments when they come in, if you have any comments for me today. All right, let's get set. So in this week's episode, I'm going to be going over a few things. I'm going to be covering a couple common questions that we get about the FitRank system all the time. And I'll be ending this episode with answering the question of how do I compete with my competition? Because that is another common question I get all the time. All right. Anytime that I'm going through any of this stuff, if you have questions, go ahead and type them in, and I will be looking for them. So I'll answer them as we're going through the presentation. All right. So also, this episode is not going to be super long because I need to get back to resting the old spine before we have the instructor certification in LA this weekend. So I'm trying to rest up as much as I can before we hit that event this weekend. So let's get to it. So the number one most common question that we get about the FitRank system is, can I modify the tests? All right. We get this question at least 3 times a month from people. And I completely get it. I understand where you're coming from and why you asked the question, but I wanted to make sure I addressed it in one of the episodes and really talk about why. Because yeah, I tell you usually when I respond to you on why you can't do it, but I don't really tell you the ultimate goal on what we're trying to do with this. Hey Angela, what's up? So the reason we say no, you cannot modify the tests, is because the whole point of the test is we're trying to set a standard. Basically, you know, if you're a level 5 and you ran into another level 5 from another state, you guys would have completed the same exact test. Okay? If there's modifications allowed, then you may have not taken the same test as him, or he may not have taken the same test as you. So it all goes back to, let's relate it to martial arts testing. So when it comes to martial arts testing, if you were in the martial arts, you wouldn't ask your sensei, hey, I can't pass my yellow belt test because of some reasons. Can we modify the test so I can pass it? Of course, they're going to tell you no, because those standards have been set in place for centuries, and they're not just going to come in and modify them for certain people. Now, what we usually tell people when they ask that question is if they have such a bad injury that they can't be rehabbed, because that's the first thing you should do, is if there's a reason that this person can't test, you need to look at the problem first and see if that problem can be rehabbed. I mean, like for myself, I just went through back surgery. I may never be able to get to level 8. It may not be possible for me, but the standards are set. I'm not going to modify a test just so I can pass it, which I don't think is going to happen. I think I'm going to come back stronger from this, but I'm just saying. First, the issue needs to be rehabbed. Just like for myself, as soon as my back is recovered and I'm cleared to lift weights again, I am going to slowly, work myself back into it through rehab and then going into my normal training until I can build back up to the level that I was at before. So that should be the same thing with your clients. Try to fix the injury, try to rehab it. Most injuries, if you know how to rehab it properly, then they can be rehabbed. And that actually, I wasn't going to talk about this, but it makes me think about it. I'm actually going to be talking to you guys about a program that Josh Henkin put together, what's it called? The restoration program. I'm going to be talking to you guys about it next week. That it's a great program. I actually went to his live event and went over a bunch of different rehab type exercises, rehab type programs. Great stuff. So I'll be talking about that next week. So if you don't know how to rehab, that's something to look into. If you know how to rehab, then rehab this person, rehab their injuries, get them set, and then they can move into testing. Because our ultimate goal, okay, this is something I haven't shared a lot, but our ultimate goal is to be the ultimate standard when it comes to the fitness industry. So if you run into somebody on the street and you go, hey, you work out, and they go, yeah, I do, and you would say, well, what level are you? We want that to be commonplace. We want that to be the standard across the world. Yes, I know it's a monster goal, but what's the point of having goals if they're not freaking huge? So that's our monster goal. That is our huge goal. That's what we want to have the system be, is to be the standard across the board, across the world. So if you worked out, you're at a certain level. All right. Another question that we get a lot is how often should I be running the level tests? I briefly we talked about this in not last episode, the episode before, when I was talking about the marketing calendar. But running your level tests, this is an area where I see people are kind of weak, where they ran a couple level tests, and then they kind of just let the program fade out. Okay, don't do that. All right, and myself, and the team, we're going to do everything we can to kind of help you along. So what I've come up with this is that I'm going to be emailing you every other month and reminding you, hey, schedule your FitRanX testing for this month. The next thing we're going to do is we're actually going to be sending out text messages as well. So maybe you don't get the emails, maybe you just don't read them because they get buried, under all the other emails you get. So we're going to send you a text message reminding you as well. Again, we're trying new things to try to help you out with making sure that you're consistent with running level testing to make sure that this system's actually working for you. Because that's the last thing I want you to do is you come onto this program, you look at it, you don't fully start running it, and you just kind of just let it die. Okay, it's not going to help you. So we're going to be doing that. So basically, you should be running level tests every 2 to 3 months. It's all going to matter on how many clients you have. But what we're doing is every 2 months, we're going to be sending you a message letting you know, hey, schedule your level test, sending you a text message, schedule your level test to try to help you out. And the last thing I'm going to cover in this episode is the question, how do I beat out my competition? And briefly, what I just said there kind of translates into this question. The big thing, it may sound simple, okay, but beating out your competition actually is kind of simple. It's all about being consistent. That's really it. If you're consistent with your marketing, if you're consistent with your emails, if you're consistent with your Facebook posts, if you're consistent with your Facebook marketing, if you're consistent with your Facebook live stuff, you will beat out your competition. Because I'll be honest with you right now, I did not want to get up in front of this live camera and film this for you guys today. I'm tired. I'm worn out still. I would rather just lay on the couch and just relax. But I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to let anything give me an excuse or hold me back, because that would have been easy. Be like, oh, I just had back surgery last week. It's okay if I skip out on this. No, it's not. It's not. So don't let anything, because that's just the way our brains work, is that we will try to justify being lazy. We will, okay? You just can't allow it. You cannot allow your brain to convince you that it's okay to be lazy. It's not. You just need to be consistent. So let's say your weekly emails. That's all I ask you guys to do. Do 1 email a week. That's all I do. I do 1 email a week at least out to you guys to make sure that I'm giving you guys useful information and helping you with your business, with something. You should be doing the same thing for your clients, your potential clients, those email lists. Once a week. Are you doing it? If you are, great. Kudos to you. If you're not writing the emails yourself, I would say that it doesn't really count. I know there's a lot of services out there that kind of write emails for you and stuff like that. If you look at the stats, most of the time those services kind of kill your email list and no one actually opens your stuff. When you're talking about your weekly email, it's you writing to your people, talking in your voice, talking about stuff that people in your area actually want to talk about, and not just some vanilla, boring stuff. So that's one thing being consistent about. Are you being consistent with your weekly emails? Okay, because like the Facebook marketing and like the opt-ins on your website, there's really no point in getting people to opt in and give you their email address if you're not emailing them consistently every week. It's kind of pointless. The whole system falls apart. So one thing, again, being consistent with your emails, being consistent with your Facebook posts. This is a topic that most people tell you that you should be posting at least 3 times a day on your company Facebook page. If you can do it, great. Okay, that's tough. That's a tough one. Like for us, we consistently post on our Facebook page 3 times a week, because really we don't get much business off our business Facebook page. We don't. Okay, we don't. So I'm gonna make sure that I'm being consistent with the things that actually bring us money and actually we profit from. So posting on the Facebook page doesn't really bring in that much business. But marketing on Facebook, now that's something different. Most of our business, my business, comes from Facebook. Most of anybody's business, if they're marketing these days, other than word of mouth, which isn't really marketing, comes from running Facebook ads and that sort of thing. So how consistent are you staying with running Facebook ads? Okay, you should be running Facebook ads at least 3 weeks out of the month, at least. Okay, usually for me, I'm running Facebook ads all month long. I've got ads going out to cold audiences. I've got other ads going out to pixeled audiences. I've got other ads retargeting other things. I've got a lot of stuff going on. But for you, really all you need to do is be doing at least 3 weeks of Facebook marketing within the month. Again, I'm not going to be going over in detail what you should be doing because I have other videos for that. I covered that a little bit into the video on the marketing calendar, the 2017 marketing calendar. But week 1 should be a video views ad. Week 2, you're retargeting those video views ads with a free PDF. Week 3, you're either retargeting them with an ebook, okay, or something like that, where they opt in for. And then week 4, if you're going to do it that month, is retargeting them with some sort of low barrier offer, a front end offer to get them into your gym. Okay. So I want you to, after you get done watching this, is think about what you can do better, what you can be more consistent with, because consistency, that is how you're going to beat out your competition. Because most of the time your competition, they're going to be too damn lazy to do this stuff. They're going to market here, market there. They're only going to market when they actually need money. It's not the way it works. You got to be marketing all the time, so you have a steady flow of income coming in. You don't just market when you need money. Okay, so be consistent. That is how you're going to beat out your competition. All right, you guys. So until next week, I'm out of here. If you're coming to the Los Angeles instructor certification this weekend, I will see you soon. All right, see you guys next week.